So did you know that every cell in our body renews within a certain time frame? So if that's the case, why does disease and illness still exist? So our eyes are every 48 hours, our stomach is every 4 days, our skin is every 30 to 35 days, our liver cells are every 6 weeks, and our whole body is actually every 7 years. We have the most amazing ability to heal and repair given the right support, and our body is a self-healing organism. So why is this? And this is the key to it. Now, if you understand how the body works, the brain is the top organization in the body, and the brain controls everything else. So that's why the last pillar, mental health, was so important, because if we're holding so much stress at the level of our mind, at the level of our brain, it will then affect all the rest of the functions in our body. So I just want to go through this and have you really understand why this information is so important. So our brain controls our autonomic nervous system. And there's two. Our autonomic nervous system it's responsible for all the automatic processes that happen in our body. So we don't even have to think about them. It's breathing, it's digestion, it's our heart beating. And there's actually two sides to it. So we have our parasympathetic nervous system and we have our sympathetic nervous system. Now, when we're in our parasympathetic nervous system, we are relaxed and we're resting and we're not worried about anything. And in this state, all our bodily functions function optimally. And we have the most amazing ability to heal and repair. And in this state, we will regenerate. Now, the other side is our sympathetic nervous system. And when we go, like in the morning, we get active and we get ready for the day, we will switch into our sympathetic nervous system. And all our major blood flow will go away from our organs and glands, and it will actually go to our muscles, so we're geared for activity. But this response also happens when we go into that fight or flight, so that we're ready to either fight or run away. So what actually happens is when our brain is holding so much stress and it is in conflict, we can actually lose our ability to even access our parasympathetic nervous system, which means we've lost the ability to heal and repair. And 95% of the world is actually stuck in this deep state of stress. But the brain is also responsible for another side, and I'm talking about the endocrine system. So our endocrine system is the hormonal response system of our whole body, and it actually produces hormones that signal our body to release cortisol. And cortisol is produced by our adrenal glands. It is a steroid hormone and is the response that we have to stress or danger. Now, that's a normal response, but if we're constantly overproducing cortisol, so if we're stuck in this deep state of stress and we overproduce it, it actually does a lot of damage in the body. And what it actually does is it changes our whole metabolism to suit this deep state of stress. And so I see so many clients that are working so hard, they're trying to eat really well, do all these things, but if my body and my metabolism and my whole digestive system is stuck in this deep state of stress, it actually it doesn't just want it, it needs fast burn foods to function. So that's why you have cravings for sugary foods like caffeine, fast burn sort of carbohydrates, alcohol, all of these different things, because our body actually needs this to function in this state. So even when we eat a really healthy diet of proteins and fats, our body actually can't utilize them properly in this state. It actually does a lot of other damage, which on the next slide I'll go into more detail. But this is actually the pathway to all disease. And a lot of people will say, well, something, it runs in my family, maybe heart disease. Yes, you will have a pre-genetic disposition to say heart disease or whatever it is, but the pathway to get to that is all the same. And it is through this. It is through holding so much stress at the level of mind. It pushes our body into the same deep state of stress. So it's actually been given a name. It's called sympathetic nervous system dominance. And it's the chronic overactivation of the fight-flight branch of your nervous system. And it's a global crisis. So when we overproduce cortisol, it changes, as I said before, our metabolism. It reduces digestive activity, so things won't really digest, they'll ferment. We crave the wrong foods. It leads to hormonal imbalances, inflammation, low immunity, unhealthy gut flora and toxicity, and also adrenal fatigue, poor sleep, and much, much more. So in this state, it's virtually impossible for your organs and glands to heal and repair themselves.